من لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله ولا كريم وصلى الله على الحمد أجمعين ومسيح ومهدي ومجدد لأن مرسلين. Now we will turn to the class. The letter itself, first off, I've been telling people for years, okay, that our family, the higher ups, without question, they crossed every T and dotted every I. Meaning, when I say perfection at its very highest, I mean the type of perfection that is phenomenal. I mean, there's no getting around just how on point all of them are. From like, okay, I stand fifth in line. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, the Most High Deity, who's Anu himself. Then you have the God men, right? Then you have Tuhuti, right? That's my grandfather. And then you have Baba, and then there's me, right? Now why? Man, when I say the epitome of perfection, loved one, I mean, it's incredible just to see how well our family has loved us and has everything exactly the way it's supposed to be. Like, you know, people oftentimes, if I was to say to people, if they were to ask me, what type of God would see us in bondage for 400 years, right? I would say a merciful God. And they couldn't understand that. And I would say that's only because the rule is you have to first serve before you rule. And because we are destined to, at the end of the day, be in very, very high positions of authority, we would not know what it is to properly lead anybody and have slaves ourselves. You follow me? If we hadn't been slaves at one time. Because, you know, in the day when the servant shall be unto their brethren, you get my drift. You follow me?
Yes.
In that day, I might say, get over there and fix me a sandwich. But then at the same time, I'm allowed to say, but while you're over there, fix yourself one. Or better yet, sit down. I'll fix us both one. You follow that?
Yes, I do.
See, because we know what it is to be a slave. Where had that not occurred, you follow this? We could only dictate and become just as bad as they are. My father said to me one time, he said, if someone takes something from you, you have the absolute right to take back whatever it is that they took from you. Why? Because it's yours. Or you could take everything they own. I said, why did he say that? He said, because it violated you. Or you can choose to not take anything at all. And he asked me, how would you choose? So I knew if I answered him right away, you would know that I hadn't given any real thought to it. So I thought, and after about a 3-day time period, I went back to him and I said, you know, I like the answer now. And he said, well, what's your answer? I said, I would choose not to take anything at all. He said, what makes you make that decision? I said, because I look at it like this. Why should I become the very thing that I despise? It doesn't give me, I mean, like, in other words, all I would do is be lowering. They could have it. Because the truth of the matter is, after that, their energy is all over it. And that negative energy, I don't want no parts of it. And so on that note, I would choose not to take anything. He said, good choice, son. He said, but I want you to know that all three choices are right. However you choose in that respect, when somebody steals something from you, always know. There's two things I don't like in this life, and that's a liar or a thief. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Truth of the matter is, I don't lie to nobody about anything at all. Because I look at it like this. There's no real reason for two adults, one to have to lie to the other. Want to know why I say that?
Why?
Because you're grown. And if they can't accept the truth, that's not your problem, that's theirs. It shows they still got some growing to do. And the truth of the matter is, if you want to wait on them to grow, then that's, without question, is your prerogative too. But if you make that choice, always know that you're going to have to take what comes along with that, which most times is distasteful. You follow?
Oh, yes.
So, you know, I don't lie to anyone. I look at it like there's no real reason to lie. I mean, don't get me wrong. In my younger years, when, you know, stupidity was still very much a part of my life. You know what I mean? I lied about a lot of things. You know, the truth is, I tell people all the time, if you judge me as the messenger, without question, I'm sure you're going to find fault. The reason being is because I make mistakes like anybody else. And I don't claim to have all the answers. But the truth of the matter is I carry my portion. And the portion I carry, without question, I'm going to continue to carry it well. And that's only because I'm able, and this is what I would say to everybody, are you? Then I'll do the best that I can do. And I'm going to get it done, too, no doubt. Want to know why? Because I'm able and I'm qualified. And the truth of the matter is, either you are an able or you are a cane. And a cane is a staff that a disabled person will use to get them from point A to point B. We who are your elders call it an excuse. You follow? And you know what I mean? Members of our family right here today. And I said, man, this don't make no sense. And I'm going to just say it again. Out of all those thousands of people that I know without question my father has touched their hearts, where are they now? It don't make no sense. I'm not understanding that. When my father needs them the very most, ain't none of these niggas around. And you want to know something, loved one? If they don't ever come back around, if I got to get my father out all by my what?
So.
Without question, that's how, when I say I'm adamant about that, if one dot or tittle, one capital letter and or comma, and or exclamation point is indeed not true, what it is I'm saying, may the Most High take my blessings in every day and every way. And trust me, my brother, I wouldn't curse myself just to kick it with you. When I say I'm as serious as they come and go, first off, all them fool-ass niggas is laying claim to loving my father and want my father out. Let me say this to you. The very ones who talk the most and the loudest are the very same people who doing everything in their power to see to it that he stay there. Because again, what made them think, right? Okay, when my father was in Gray, Georgia, locked up over there in Putnam County, right? Yeah. You realize because you had brothers and sisters that was writing letters to him in New Wapic, what the administrator of that facility did to my father? You didn't hear nothing about that?
No, what was that?
First off, these fool-ass Negroes, they wrote letter after letter after letter after letter written in New Wapic. You follow this?
Yeah.
And here it is, this crack ain't never seen that language written ever before in his what?
Life.
Right?
Life.
Now put yourself where you're the administrative head of that facility. And here it is, you got a high-profile, raisin-head Negro, or like they used to say, nigger, up in here. Watch now. And here it is, all his people writing up in here with this funny ass language. You ever seen one of these? Have you ever seen this language before, Joe? I ain't never seen it before. Yo, this is what he's saying to his constituents. I'm gonna recreate the situation so you can see it. I'll be damned if this motherfucker think he's gonna run his whole nation from inside this facility. He done lost his mind. I'm gonna teach him something right now. He called my father into his office and said, "What the fuck is this?" And he put like 20 letters on the desk, all written in Nuwapi. My father just sat there, didn't say nothing. He said, "Man, let me tell you something. If you think for 1 minute that you're going to run your nation from here, from my facility, think again." He said, "Let me tell you, because your people are writing in here in this language we don't understand, I'm suspending your commissary for the rest of the time you here. I'm taking your visitation rights, and I'm going to take your ability to be able to get any mail." You follow this?
Yeah.
This happened to my father before my father went to Florence, Colorado Supermax Federal Penitentiary. Now, loved one, I don't know if you ever been in the penitentiary before, but I have. In fact, I done spanned the globe. I done been in a whole lot of spots, and I'm talking about some good ones too. I studied law for 6 years and 4 months. Like, the truth of the matter is, I fell in 1989, and they gave me, matter of fact, in Baltimore, I got caught getting off the train coming from New York to Baltimore. And I did time in Hagerstown, Maryland. Right?
Right.
And on my first conviction, you know how much time they gave me?
What?
25 years.
Ooh.
I'm talking about the light bulb at the end of my tunnel blew the fuck out. Meaning I didn't think I was ever getting out. You feel me?
Yeah. Right.
But I studied law for 6 years and 4 months. Which again, this figures into a much, much bigger picture that, like I was telling you a minute ago, the high ups, they didn't leave nothing out. They crossed every T and dotted every I. And I'm going to spell it out in a way by which you're going to be able to see it real clearly here in a minute. Meaning, I don't care what nobody says. I have a plan that is feasible. That is so feasible it can be made manifest. It's not so far-fetched that a handful of loyal, dedicated people who love my father can't see to it that this becomes a reality. You following?
I'm with you.
And, What's that?
I said I'm with you.
Oh, without question, I know that. And
okay.
that becomes the reason by which I wanted to talk to you. After I heard your voice on our show, I told Brandon, I said, tell the brother I want to talk to him. Because the truth of the matter is, I'm going to lay something out to you. You ain't never, man, I'm going to tell you like this. If anybody in this day and time has a better plan, not just to get my father out, but to save the entire Nubian race, listen to me. When I'd be the first to shut the fuck up and follow them. Because wait till you hear this, young one. And this plan was put in my lap by Kahuti himself. See, a lot of people don't understand that, yes, my father's my father. However, every master teacher, right, listen, has many master students. However, the master doesn't teach the students everything. That would be ludicrous for any master to do. You follow that?
Right.
Would you agree?
Yes. Yeah.
However, the science of alchemy, a master, out of all the many master students that they may have, it comes a time where that master has to choose one master student from amongst them all, listen, to become their apprentice. Now, an apprentice is a being who the master will totally recreate him or herself inside of. The reason being is because their mastery, without question, must live forever. You follow this?
Yes.
Okay. Now, long time ago, what a lot of people don't know, and oh yeah, by the way, loved one, my memory goes all the way back to triple darkness. I'm 73 trillion years old. I'm only 3 trillion years younger than my father. You following?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And loved one, when I tell you, I don't speak from any information that was given to me out of anybody's book. Did you know my father made me promise and swear that I would not, when I got to the Cain and Abel story in the Holy Tablet, that I wouldn't read any further? My father would not let me read the Holy Tablet. He told me, he said, you read from the beginning of the book, when you see it say Cain and Abel, you got to give me the word, you stop right there. I said, what do you, I mean, why? I was locked up. You feel me?
Yeah.
And he's like, because, man, it's like this. I begged him to send me some Holy Tablets, right? And the truth of the matter is, man, I used to make him a card one every week that would take me all week to make. Like, in other words, we would make these elaborate Tamarind cards that was, I'd have to put like 30 stamps on it just to get it there. You feel me?
Yeah.
Right.
And we spend all week making these cards, and they would go out every week about them. I sent them one card and a letter for 32 weeks, every day for 32 weeks, excuse me, one card, one letter, every week for 32 weeks. And every letter that I wrote him, I'm telling him, man, this, you know, can you send me some tablets? Because I looked at it like this. I got 3 years to do. You figure 2,000 something odd pages, that'll hold me. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I had never read the tablet ever before, huh? Are you there?
Okay, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, now, why? You realize my father sent me one book, and guess how many pages was in the book?
19?
You ever seen the Urim Thummim?
No.
You ain't never seen the Urim and Thummim book? The High Priest of On?
No, I haven't.
It shows a little doll of a Levitical priest on the front of it that's wearing a breastplate. You ain't never seen that book?
No, I haven't.
Man, you in for a treat. I'm about to bless you, bro.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I'm about to give, listen to me. I'm about to give you a what I'm gonna do is I got the Urim Thummim in my phone. Like a couple of brothers had copied the pages and sent them to me, right? Because I was talking about this quite some time ago. First off, let me tell you what the Urim Thummim is. The Urim Thummim was like about, it wasn't even a half an inch thick. It might have been 40 pages at the very most. And I'm like, dang, I asked them to send me the Holy Tablet. And they sent me this little skinny book, right? But let me tell you something. That book lasted me the entire 3 years I was there. It was way more than just a book. And let me tell you something. I'm going to give you the gift of it. That book right there, without question, was way more than a book. It's like having a new private line telephone number. It's like, listen, I'm talking about any question you want to ask of Anu himself. Let me tell you something. I will stake my life on the accuracy of these readings. You talk about some phenomenal shit. Well, let me tell you something, what it's about. The Urim means stones of life. Thummim means
Oh, come on.
utilized by the Levitical priest of old. And the Levitical priest of old would wear a breastplate that had 12 stones on it that represented the 12 tribes of Israel. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay, now, behind the breastplate, listen, they would carry with them the Urim and Thummim. And now what this consisted of was 24 stones that had 24 very, very ancient type of carvings on them. Like when you look at Nuwapu, oh yeah, getting back to what I was saying, I'm glad I spoke on this because I'm going to finish about what happened with this and how I can prove this thing with the civilian name. Now let me explain. Remind me when I finish telling you about the civilian thing, right? And to get back to this gift I'm gonna give you, because I'm gonna see to it that I send you the pages, and I'm gonna hit you on to how you use it. Wait till you check it for yourself. You're gonna be like, whoa, this is a bomb.
Okay.
Listen, when I give you the Urim Thummim, love, when I'm giving you, I'm talking about one of the most beautiful jewels I've ever been given by my father the entire time I've been on this blue rock in this life. You follow me?
Yeah.
And the book would be on the shelf at the bookstore, and people would pass it by, because only high priests of Om he knew would gravitate towards it. Now, someone, when I tell you this thing do its thing, I'm not just playing the radio. You be the judge of it for yourself. I guarantee you, when you check it, you're gonna call me back. You're gonna be like, yo, this thing is the. I'm be like, you're gonna be like, thank you. I'll be like, no, thank you. Give me opportunity. Give me opportunity to give you something nice. You feel me?
Yes, I do.
Huh?
Yes, I do.
I love you, man.
I love you too,
and
brother.
Welcome home. Welcome home.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you, man. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do what I was sent there to do.
Oh, man. You don't know how this feels right now.
You're not understanding where this is going to go. Meaning, I'm going to pull you in real close. You'll see.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. I'm with you all the way.
See, because let me say this right now. I said to everybody, I don't want no disciples in this life. You want to know why?
Why?
Because my disciples are still trying to decipher everything that I said 2,000 years ago. And the truth of the matter is, the people who will be closest to me, you want to know what I'm going to call them?
What?
My disciplined. Because who wants anybody to be that close? I don't want nobody to be that close to me, listen, and be void of discipline. Meaning beings who mean what they say and say what they what?
Mean.
What they mean. To the point that I don't have to second guess them. You see?
Right.
Like my father don't have to second guess me. You know how many times my father told me to do things that I didn't understand at all? I'm talking about, he would have me, listen to me. He would have me do things, tell me to do things that didn't make sense to me at what? All. I'm like, man, why you got me doing this? This don't make no sense at all, Bobby. He'd be like this. He would look me straight in the face and say, are you going to do it or you ain't? Now what you going to do? And then he look at me real, like, straight in the face, and loved one, I'll be shook, right? Because I'm saying, damn, he know how much I love him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, man, let me tell you something. He look at me and be like, are you going to do it or you ain't? What you going to do? And I would just sit there, I'd stand there, and I'd be like, all right, right, you know what I mean? And then I'd go do it, right? And let me tell you something, some of the stupidest shit, man, but when he would tell it to me, it would make no sense. And then 6 months later, I'd be like, oh, shit. That's why that nigga told me to do that. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you like this. I ain't never once seen my father wrong. Not one time. And so it got to the point where I don't even question him no more. Nigga tell me to do something for you, he get it all the way out of his mouth. I'm like, ha, when you want me to come down? Want me to do it on my pinky toe? And response time is everything. I tell those OSOICE all the time. Slow responses are a form of disrespect.
Right.
And not only are they a form of disrespect, they're also, listen, it shows a slow mind. And see, loved one, you can't share my company. Nobody shares my company and doesn't walk away the better because of it. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong, you're going to learn a whole lot, you know, in the classes, this, that, the third, but you want to know what you learn the very most?
What's that?
When you walk with me, sit down and break bread with me, get to know me.
Wow.
In a real way, that's when the real jewels start to come. Because we'll be walking, Brandon will tell you. I'll be like, yo, you see that? And you'll be like, yeah. I'll be like, remember that. I'll be like, yo, you see that? And you'll be like, yeah. I'll be like, yo, remember that. When you get a couple of those, remember that under your belt, the lights start to come on their what?
On their own.
On their own. Without the monoatomic. My very being is designed in a way by which when you share my company, immediately I start to speed your vibrational frequency up. You start vibrating at a much faster and higher rate than what you would, you know what I mean, not sharing my company. And all them beings who are out there, you know, the haters, oh God, I feel sorry for them. In a real way, because what they're going to do, like right now, I got a sister who called me a phony. Yo, talked about me like I was shit off the ground. Listen to me. Persecuted me for righteousness' sake. I knew all that was part of the gig. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I accepted all that long time ago. I knew the job was dangerous when I took it. And in a real way, nobody ever who has been authentic or authentically sent to us as people of color, none of them or me were accepted. Why do you think I bounced 2,000 years ago? You follow me? Because you're talking about some fools. I'm talking about the type of stupidity that would make stupid look pale in comparison. Like another day, stupid ain't got nothing on that type of stupidity.
Oh, man.
Man, let me tell you something. I don't got respect for a stupid motherfucker. You know what I mean? You want to be stupid the fuck over what? There, because you ain't going to be nothing but in my fucking way. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And OSOICE, let me tell you about the OSOICE. We have been created as a direct order coming from Tahuti. And I was about to tell you, I'm Tahuti's apprentice. At 3 years old, 3 months and 3 days, long time ago, my grandfather, listen, he took on the name Hermes. Do you know where that name came from?
No, I don't.
Hey, you get that up.
Comes from the word hermit. Hermit. Do you know that it came from the word hermit? Do you know what the word hermit means?
No.
It means someone who secludes himself away from everybody.
Well, I kind of...
And it's very, very rarely seen. You follow me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Now, they lie in the books that are written about my grandfather in many, many places and in many, many different times. They will say that my grandfather was called Hermes Trismegistus. That's a lie. And they will say that my grandfather, right, Trismegistus meant 3 times great. No, it didn't. Let me explain. First off, my grandfather, I'm gonna tell you something that I'll be telling the entire family at my sermon at the Mound, Sermon on the Mound, which will be happening in Carson, Georgia, not long from now. It's a beautiful place too, man. Oh my God, the place is fat. Like you're going through like a little trail in the woods, and you walk for about maybe about 2 blocks, 3 blocks on this little trail, right?
Right.
And then when you get to the end of the trail, it opens up in a place as far as the eye can see. You see all these mounds. I'm talking about mounds, bro. Far as the eye can see, and right in the middle is a very, very big one. You follow me?
Yeah.
When Bodie and I first went there, I said, Bodie, man, good God, you got to see it. Man, I wish you could see this, right? I said, come on. I grabbed him by the hand. We started running. And I ran him up on top of the highest mound that sits in the center of this area. You follow me?
Yeah.
And immediately him and I just went into Indian style and went into meditation. And you talking about man, the spiritual essence of this entire place is enormous. Bodhi said, man, I don't have to see it. I can feel it. You know what I'm saying? We sat there for about 2 hours in meditation, him and I. And that's where I'll be holding my Sermon on the Mount. See, like a long time ago, people don't realize, though, that that's when I became a threat to the Roman government, when I gave my Sermon on the Mount. The reason being is because so many people came, thousands of them. And that's when the Roman government moved to a state by which they were in fear of me, because they knew that at that moment I could sway the vote. You follow me?
Yeah.
And the last thing they wanted me to do was end up, leader of all Rome. You follow this?
Yeah.
So that's why they yelled out, crucify me. And I remember that shit too. That was deep. Everybody writes the brother Judas out to be a betrayer. Judas wasn't a betrayer. Judas was my friend. And you realize that brother gave his life to see to it that I stay alive? Because he said something out of his mouth. Listen, that none of us, not even myself, was smart enough to calculate and put on a communicated platform. And you want to know what he said? Because it went like this. First off, here's the day people read these stories, right, about my life 2,000 years ago. And I feel sorry for the people who want to think that there's more than one Messiah. First off, 2,000 years ago, that was my life. You follow that?
Yeah,
without
right.
question, when I said, it is expedient that I leave you, because if I don't leave you, they misquoted me. They said that I said the Comforter would not come. That's not what I said. I said comfort will not come your way. The reason being is because growth is not promoted through a state of comfort. Growth is promoted through a state of discomfort. So what I was saying to all of them, as long as I'm with you, I'm going to make all y'all real uncomfortable. Because I'm going to keep telling y'all about the stupid shit y'all doing. You see? And about your inability to follow orders. You see? Yeah, I mean, the worst person in the world you could ever want to deal with is one you say, yo, bro, check this out. Go to the store. I want you to buy a can of, a jar of Prego spaghetti sauce. I want you to buy some turkey hamburger meat, right? And I want you to, get the spaghetti noodles and come on back. We're going to make a pot of spaghetti. The worst person in the world is the one who, number one, takes all day to go and then comes back with all the wrong things. You see?
Yeah.
Or doesn't come back at what?
At all.
At all. You follow me? That is the type of insubordination that long time ago people don't realize that that's what I was dealing with. In a real way. And I had some real characters. I mean, there was a whole lot of clowns in that circus. And you know what you do with a clown, right? Do you know what you do with a clown?
What's that?
What's that? Come on.
Because they were just stupid. I'm talking about stupid. You know what I mean? Do stupid shit, right? But that's part of, see, that's like, in other words, they got the in general stories of my life written, right? But what they never fail to do, meaning the people who read this information, is they never fail to read into the story a thing called human nature. They'll read over the story and extract the very, and forget to apply the very most important what? Thing, which is human what? Nature. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, okay, because all of us, let me just say this. Each person here on the Blue Rock, first off, they have this real stickler about male and female, right? And see, like everybody wants to think that Adam was one man. No. Adam was a tribe, because it says male and female created he them. In the day they were created, called their names Adam, or Adama, or Adamite. You follow? That describes the physical composition of the being. You follow me? Adama means black mud or red clay. You follow that?
Right.
Yes.
That's where the word Adam comes from. Okay? Now, they give you names, but they don't never give you the translation of the names. But if they would have did that, that would have given you all a greater portion of information by which to put this large jigsaw puzzle together so that you can then find where it is you sat and the part you played. Because if I ask you, would Allah or Jehovah or Anu himself, would he exist to you and for you if you didn't exist? How would you answer me?
Wow.
Good question.
That's a good question.
Think about the question. Now, I'll repeat it. With Allah or Jehovah or whatever name you want to call your higher power, would that being exist to you and for you if you did not exist?
I don't know how to answer that. I'm not even going to try right now because I don't know.
It's simple. It's simple. Nothing would exist to you and for you if you didn't exist, correct?
Right.
Right. So where does it all start? It starts with you. And guess where we're all in? With you, to you and for you. And guess where it will be renewed if you but let yourself experience it. You follow me? And the minute people on this planet start to see this as a reality, because that's truth beyond doubt, nothing would exist to you and for you if you didn't exist. You follow me?
Right.
So each being on this planet sits at the very center of their very own universe. You see, like wherever you are, if there's anybody around you, they are revolving around you, to you and for you. You follow that?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying the Most High wouldn't exist if you didn't exist. I'm saying he wouldn't exist to you.
Right.
If you didn't exist. You follow?
Oh,
so,
right. Okay.
Yes, without question, the Most High created us what? All. But it didn't start to you and for you until you were created. Once you were created, that's when your story then starts to move from that what? Forward. You follow me?
Yeah.
See, and the minute people start realizing that, then they'll stop blaming everybody else for whatever the fuck is happening to them. You ever heard people say, well, I'm going to just put it in the hands of God?
Yeah.
All the time.
But what gives you the right to take your responsibility and place it on Anu's desk?
Right.
You follow that?
Yeah.
I don't know about nobody else. I had an auntie when I was locked up that every month my money order would be there. And she was so loving and so kind and beautiful to me. I called her on the phone one day and I said, Auntie, I got 25 years. I said, how long do you think you're going to be able to keep this up? You know what she said to me?
What?
She said, as long as it takes. She said, stop worrying about what I'm sending you. Because the truth of the matter is, I know you need that. And if there ain't nobody there for you, I'm going to be there for you. She said, I don't care if you got forever and a day. I'll go to my grave writing you out a money order if I need to. Now, I said that because just because I knew anything I would ask her for, she'd be Johnny on the spot to give me. That's what made me fix my mouth not to ask so much. You follow that?
Yeah.
Because like I say, I have love and respect for her. When I know anything if I ask for it, she's going to move heaven and earth to see to it that I have what I'm asking for. And because I knew that, then that made me love her back enough to the point that I wouldn't ask very often. Because I knew that to ask all the time was to take advantage of a love that I shouldn't be taking advantage of. Now, I said that because I'm drawing a correlation and or a parallel without even using parables at this particular moment. Because there's been many times that I've spoken ways by which, check this out, they, just like Baba, they wouldn't understand it until 6 months later. And then it would dawn on them what I was talking about. In fact, like right here today, I've had many people try to challenge me. I had one fool tell me, I'm just as much a God as you are. I said, no, you're not. He said, yes, I am. I said, no, you're not. He said, I said, you are only God by the things I'm giving you out my mouth. If you choose to take what I'm saying and put it into motion. But other than that, all these people, like in the Nuwapian nation who lay claim to being gods and goddesses, they're not gods and goddesses. They're a bunch of mortals, listen, who have been given a concept of what it is to be a god by a God who is my Father. And most of them, if not all of them, today have failed to take that concept and to conceptualize it immaculately. You follow what I'm saying? Meaning to make it work for them in their day-to-day lives. Because the one thing that they have forgotten, you want to know what they've forgotten? Compassion. And if you don't have compassion, you don't have nothing. A lot of them brothers and sisters have intellectualized themselves right out the ballpark, where literally they've become, watch this, intellectual dummies. So smart, or think they are, that they look down their noses at the less evolved, which is not right. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I don't care what nobody says. We was called the Nubian Islamic Hebrew Mission back in the day. By the mere fact that you saw the word Nubian there, that means that every Nubian counts. And I've seen, I was in the bookstore on Edgewood Avenue in Atlanta, and a crackhead ran into the class. Listen to this. Scared out of his mind, seeing things that wasn't there. But the reality of it is, to him and for him, that was his reality. Those things, whatever they may have been, that he was seeing, were real to him. You follow this?
Yes, sir.
And you want to know what our brothers do? I'm going to show you what our brothers did. Instead of bringing the brother in, forgetting that we were called the Nubian Islamic Hebrew Mission, which included every Nubian man and woman, be you a crackhead, a piss pot, I don't give a fuck. Just like Baba said, I got a right to lay claim to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in his book called Message to the Black Man.
Right.
He said, because I'm black, right? So who's the message
Exactly.
to? So on that note, I got just as much right as any other black man to lay claim to whatever it was that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in that book. But people don't see that. Okay, so let me tell you, brother man in there, scared to death. And instead of brothers having the compassion enough to say, wait a minute, this brother's a Nubian. Instead, they saw him as a crackhead, and you want to know what they did to him? Instead of making him feel safe and letting him know ain't nobody going to fuck with him as long as he's in that store, they beat on the brother.
What?
And I had to stop. Yeah. They put hands on the brother, man. To the point the brother had to run all the way across the street to seek refuge with the lady who cooked cookies across the street. I said, this ain't a shame, this is a damn shame. And I ain't never forgot. You follow? And that's long before my memory came back. Don't get me wrong. My name was Barakat in the Ansar community. You follow me? It meant one who is blessed abundantly. Now, but let me tell you something. Barakat was just the seedling. You're not dealing with the seedling now. You're dealing with the full-blown blossom, which is a whole nother being. But even in my seedling faith, I had something inside of me that I saw many of our brothers and sisters having forgotten and having set to the side as if this thing was a major thing that they had to maintain and carry with them all the days of their life. And you want to know what that was?
Yes, sir.
Compassion. Compassion. You see? Never mind how they treat me. I don't care that, but look how they treat each other. You follow me? I've accepted with the fact that they're going to call me every type of ill-mannered, negative thing that they could possibly fix their mouths to want to bring. I've expected that, accepted that. I know that's part of the gig. That's part of the job description. But what hurts me, and when I say hurts me, I'm saddened by it extremely to see just how far all of our people have fallen. Don't get me wrong. I might be a significant grain of sand, but still, I'm just a grain of sand on the beach like everybody else. But though I may be a significant grain of sand, the point becomes, what's more important, the significant grain of sand, me the Messiah, or the beach itself?
The beach itself.
Bingo. So let me say something to you. My people come right after the Most High himself and the high ups. The very most important thing is my what? People. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
And I tell them all the time, I'm standing right over there, and you say, hey, Jesus, I wouldn't even turn around. Because I wasn't speaking English 2,000 years ago. I was speaking Hebrew. And see, they took my words and twisted them. Like you read in the book of Matthew, it says, many shall come in my name saying there is Jesus. Believe them not, but they shall deceive many. Now, the way they wrote that, what that did was set everybody up in this damn time to think that anybody who came along saying they was Jesus was a liar and that they shouldn't be trusted. But that's not what I said. I said, many shall come in my name, Yahshua, saying that I, Yahshua, and Jesus believe them not, for they shall deceive many. See the difference?
Yeah.
You follow that?
Yeah, I see it.
Yes, sir.
Because Jesus wasn't my what? Wasn't my name.
Your name, yeah.
You follow that?
Yes.
So I said, many shall come in my name, Yahshua, saying that I, Yahshua, and Jesus believe them what?
Not.
so they shall deceive what?
Many.
Many. And here it is, they took some words and twisted them, turned them into a fiasco and some type of travesty that, check this out, Nubian people the globe over are now suffering from, just like they suffer from what they believe to be a fact, which was indeed a fabrication when it said that Judas betrayed me. Let me tell you something. They read the stories, but they fail to read into the story a thing called human what? Nature. Now, Bob, if I cut off your ear, what you feeling? Come on now, talk to me. I talk back. I'm gonna say
What you say, Chief?
If I cut off your ear, what are you feeling?
Pain.
Pain. What's coming out your head?
Blood.
Blood, right? Now, you First off, if you a cop, right, and you got to arrest somebody, right, and you come with a posse of other police, right, to arrest this cat that has a warrant, right?
Right.
And meanwhile, you get your ear cut, what?
Off.
You feeling tremendous what?
Pain.
Pain. And blood coming out your what?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Now, if the very same person you got to arrest, bend down, pick your ear up, put this right in his hand, put the right in your head and say, yo, dog, everything's going to be all right. And you look and see your ears back on your head. Are you going to arrest that motherfucker?
No.
No, hell no.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened in the story.
First of all, that's not something that a motherfucker see every what?
Every day.
Day. I don't care what nobody say. Why didn't these people in this day and time, when reading that story, say, wait a minute. You just put the man's ear back on his head.
Right.
And you mean tell me this guy's going to arrest him? No.
Right.
Let me tell you what happened. Now put the person's ear back. First of all, let me tell you how his ear got cut off. Again, if you're a cop and you got your gun, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And you got watch this, you got other cops around you that got guns what? Two.
Drawn.
And all of y'all belong to the same gang. Right?
Right.
Now, if while you arresting me, a brother that's there with me grabs, listen, one of your business partner's guns, what the rest of the police gonna do? To the fella that grabbed the gun.
They gonna light him up.
They're gonna light his ass up. Now that's what they tried to do to Peter. And Peter was my nigga. You not understanding me. Why
Right.
I called him my rock? Because I could trust that nigga. You feel me?
Right.
When I said on this church, I said on this rock, I shall build my church. After I punched him in the chest, on this rock, boom, I shall build my church. That's because the nigga want to sit up and say my name is Christ. You lost your fucking mind. You feel me? That was not something that I liked. Man, let me tell you something how it came about. Nigga, we was in a city called Antioch. And Antioch. You know the word Achim means brother, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay? So we all the time say, yo, what's up, Ak? Which is short for what? Brother, right?
Brother, yeah.
So my motherfuckers can't see that when you say Antioch, you're talking about a city that did not like brothers. What?
Anti-brother.
You follow that?
Anti-brother.
And the truth of the matter is, that's where I first got labeled Christ, and the brothers that was with me got labeled Christian. You follow me?
Yeah,
right.
got
The
it.
only reason they did that shit is because they was making a mockery out of our asses. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And in a real way, It wasn't meant to, when they called me Christ and called them Christian, that wasn't something that was meant to be like they were saying something nice. These motherfuckers were making a mockery of us. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And the truth of the matter is, I asked Peter, I said, who do you say I am? He said, you're the living Christ, and I punched him right in the chest. I said, on this one, boom, nigga. And then I turned all the rest of them niggas. I said, any of you niggas ever call me that? That's why I'm going to be punching you in your mouth. You feel me?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Peter, okay, the sword in that day was equivalent to the gun in this day. Okay, are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay? The sword in that day was equivalent to the gun in this day. Okay? Now, that's what people fail to fucking realize. Those police didn't have guns. They had what?
Swords.
Swords. And if Peter pulled that top sword, what the fuck did the rest of the motherfuckers do with their swords?
Try to bring this police.
They tried to kill that nigga. And I saved his life. How do you think I got them cuts in my hand? I'm like, no. And I grabbed two of them swords that was destined for his neck and put real cuts on my hand. I'm talking about, nigga, I was fucked up, bleeding. And then this other motherfucker stabbed me in my side. I'm like, you bitch.
Wow.
Okay, you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, watch this. Now, meanwhile, by me grabbing them swords, that gave Peter just enough time to cut this man's ear off. Right? And I'm seeing this man in pain. I'm talking about he's fucked up. I was fucked up, but he was fucked up. You feel me?
Yeah.
I mean, this nigga was in pain, man. You feeling me?
Yeah.
I just got stabbed in the side. And I got cuts in my hand, and I wasn't feeling nearly as much pain as that motherfucker was.
You are the motherfucker. Yes, sir.
Well, I felt sorry for his ass. So I bent down, picked the man's ear up, put it back on his head. All right? Now watch. Right there, he looked at me with tears in his eyes and said, fuck that, I can't arrest you. I said, man, are you serious? He said, for real, I can't. I said, man, wait a minute. You got a wife and kids? He's like, yeah. I said, well, you gotta arrest me. He said, I said, no, nigga, if you don't, what's gonna happen to your wife and kids? Think about that. And he said, damn, you're right. Because that motherfucker just spent all of Pontius Pilate's money. I said, Judas, where the money at? You know what Judas said?
What'd he say?
He said, I smoked it.
Wow.
Did you hear what I just said?
He smoked.
Yeah.
He's a crackhead, nigga. He was what you would call a crackhead here in the what?
2,000 years ago.
Today, that's why the nigga went and got the money in the first place.
Right.
You feel me?
That's Yeah.
Now what? He said, I smoked it. So I looked at the dog. I'm like, see? Yo, go ahead, man, put the handcuffs on me. Stop bullshitting. And Judas said, no, fuck that. And we all looked at him. He said, take me, I'll be him. It's obvious the motherfuckers don't know what he looked like, because if they knew what he looked like, why would they need me to point his ass out?
Right.
And all of us, all our mouths got the fuck wide open, like, oh shit. Didn't nobody think of that shit. And that's when that cop took the handcuffs off me that he was getting ready to put on me and put them on Judas. And said, everybody keep his voice. All you motherfuckers that see this shit, what I'm doing right here today, you gotta keep your mouths what?
Closed.
Shut. And nigga, then Judas went and suffered under Pontius Pilate. I hid in the garden, scared to what? Death, nigga.
Death.
Dressed up as a gardener, making leaves, playing it off. And I was out there for 3 motherfucking days, starving, mobbing, touching my back. Then I hear all these motherfuckers running around there, but he rolls from the ground.
اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ ربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم صدق الله العظيم.
Now we return to the tribe.